I see one of the first questions. What is the benefit of the RTTI 5-star rating for road authorities? So if I may, Thomas, I think you are the best match to to answer these questions. If you can go ahead, please.
Yeah, sure. Because this was asked in the morning as well. And of course, it's also very interesting for everyone from road authorities. I come from the Danish Road Directorate, and I've been part of this work. And we participated in this because we thought there were benefits for road authorities, and also think there is one very important aspect is that if we as road authorities can deliver data that has the specified level of quality according to the 5-star rating specification, then we can be sure that it will be used by service providers and transmitted to road users. And of course, it's still a discussion exactly what it means that it will be used and transmitted, but that's very important. That's something we have spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to do ourselves in Denmark for some years. And the other side of it is that when our data is evaluated, and we volunteered for a case study on the Danish roadworks data in September, where Tom did some really good work on trying to evaluate that according to the 5-star rating specification. And we learned a lot of that as well. So it's also important as a tool for feedback, not on every single message we send out, but on our data set as such. We learned that some things we thought were problems were not really important problems, and we also discovered a new one in the process. So from the perspective of the Danish Road Directorate, that's two important benefits of the 5-star rating specification.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Maybe we can link the answer with the how should our national access points incorporate RTTI 5-star quality specification, because you're also running the national access point for Denmark.
Yeah, and we haven't done it yet, but we think it's one obvious way to use it is if a data set has been evaluated according to the 5-star rating specification, that we put somewhere in the data catalog and its metadata what level it was measured to have, and probably at which time that was done, and if it wasn't done by ourselves, then who did the evaluation. But further work on this is maybe a topic for NAPCORE or TISA grade.
All right, thank you very much. So if I'm sorry,
can I just add one point maybe
of course,
to this?
yeah, please, yes, please,
from my perspective would be good, as from a data user perspective would be good to have when you made this rating, to have it incorporated in the metadata, so that we can easily see what is then the quality of the data. And I think this is planned on the national access points, or should be done. So
yeah, and to add on top, also the date of, ideally, when was that quality assessment done? Was it from 2 years ago or 2 months ago? But a lot of NAPs already have some base. Like there's usually a little section for quality level, yeah, and it could be like a hyperlink to something you're redirected to, or a small amount of free text just to state what the star rating score is and when that was done, and that shouldn't be too difficult to implement in an app. Was probably more the biggest effort is actually using the specification in the first sense, but any type of information you can incorporate on the NAP for a data feed, that would be very helpful from a user perspective.
Okay, thank you all for the input. allow me to move to the next question. What insights can be shared so far about how to assess the rating? What ideas does TISA have for how to assess the quality?
Well, if I can jump in here, that's what we will be working on next. So all the statistics and what methods to apply to get reliable results. So that will be the evaluation methodology. How to implement that, there are different ways of doing it. One could think of a self-assessment. Some road operators may prefer to subcontract that to a neutral external entity. There could be mixed forms that you do a self-assessment that is then reviewed and scrutinized by an external entity. So there are different ways of doing the evaluation. What certainly would be beneficial is to have one point that is issuing the 5-star ratings in a way that you can ensure global comparability, that a 5-star rating done in the US is equivalent to a 5-star rating in Europe, or a 5-star rating in Asia, or a 5-star rating in Australia, for that matter. So I don't know if the anyone from the service providers or the road operators wants to add to that.
Or even from an academic angle, because that's one of the feedbacks we got from Megan, is that having standardized data available globally will definitely help academic researchers to do standardized validation in a controlled manner, because they can rely on the sources much better.
Also jumping here for the service providers, for Google especially, for us, it's really key to have standardized data as we're rolling data out in our global products, and having this trust in a certain quality standard is essential to make use of the data. So having this applicable, not just for one country, but as what was said wisely before, across the globe, worldwide, that would be definitely something we would very much appreciate.
All right, thank you very much. So we should move to the next question. So should the validation of the data be carried out by the data holder, or is a centralized solution planned?
I think that's very similar to the previous question.
Yeah. So far, I'm not aware of any centralized solution being planned or created. I do have a background in RTTI and quality evaluation, and so far, my knowledge goes, there's no commercial party yet that offers this. So perhaps an opportunity for new startups, but so far what I hear in the technical working group is that road authorities already started evaluating their own data with their own people, sometimes assigning interns for the assignment, especially because often things like roadworks and road closures are delegated to the market, and they just want to check how good is the quality of the data those subcontractors deliver to us. So far, even without having the evaluation methodology in place, they already get very good insights in what is and what isn't working in reality. Having said that, I also hear from road operators that they cannot make this integral part of their responsibilities, and they don't want to make it integral part of their responsibilities. They want to delegate it somewhere. So I would see that there's an opportunity for the market to fill in, and possibly even over a competitive service because of the economies of scale you can score there. And even suggestions and advice on top of just rating it, saying that this can be better, and this is how you do that.
Thank you very much, Antoine. I see the second and third questions a bit, I think we could probably combine them. Should there be a row back to road operators? They are kind of checked by service users, or feedback loop if data does not fully meet the requirements. So is it up to the road authorities to implement the process of quality rating? I don't know if it's something that Thomas, you would like to jump on in, or someone else?
Well, I think at the very least, there's some upcoming work on the feedback loop. That's also part of the EU regulation, and in any case, it should fit with that. How this will be used in that sense, and I think at least for levels of data quality that are enough for it to be used by service providers, that could probably somehow be linked to what kind of feedback can be provided.
Yeah.
That's just a thought, but
well, yeah. The specification already caters for feedback from service providers to the data provider, especially in the case of a quality level dropping. So service providers may stop using it, and what we say is that there will be feedback given then in case of stopping a service. We don't specify here how much detail someone would have to go into, because that is a very complicated topic, especially because many of the service providers have ISO demands for any automated process ongoing in their live traffic chain, especially coming from the automotive industry. So if they're making this integral part of the solution, it makes it very difficult to embed it in all the existing QA processes and certified processes as well. So, but at least for now, we cater for, if you stop using a feed, give feedback. And that's the highest level we can do it at. For a future priority use case, as Thomas said, I would say that's something for the steering working group to decide upon where that fits the priorities based on how doable it is, given the considerations I just mentioned.
Yeah, just to add on top, I think in the on page 6 of the specification, we have this big paragraph about this kind of pilot evaluation phase that we're in now, that we expect to roughly last about 6 to 12 months, where kind of what TomTom and DRD did with version 0.09 of the spec, try out, use the spec, evaluate it with it, and actually note down, okay, what works well, what doesn't work well. And we also flagged in that paragraph explaining about this phase that we're in, that those exercises could look at this feedback loop kind of concept, kind of theme. And I think from a service provider perspective, what would be helpful is to get insights on exactly what type of feedback are you looking for and why. I think that for us would be clear. Like, is it just about, are you using our data, yes or no? Is it feedback on exactly what is wrong with, what exact feedback are you looking for, and why is that helpful for you? I think if the service providers can have that information, that would be very helpful for us.
All right, thank you very much, Steph. Yeah, so next question, I see, is it up to the road authorities to implement the process of quality rating, or are there going to be other entities or national bodies coordinating it?
As a road authority, we have to evaluate our own data as an ongoing process anyway, to some extent at least. And maybe the 5-star quality rating is something to do with certain intervals. I'm not sure it's one or the other. Maybe it's both. Both things.
This morning we got a question. It was phrased slightly differently, but it said, is it the responsibility of the data holder to conduct this, to assess the quality of the data, or is it, a third party? Kind of a question we had earlier about, is it a self-assessment or is it third party? And it can be either, right? The national body kind of element seems more about that's quite more specific for Europe. As opposed to the parts of the world. But if this question is linking to the official minimum quality requirements or RTTI, we do have a section in the specification where we say that, look, these could be considered the minimum quality requirements, but it's not up to TISA to decide that. It's up to the member states to decide that and all the relevant stakeholders. So that will have to be like a parallel activity done separately. This is the spec. It will be further improved once we get all the feedback from the this pilot evaluation phase in the version 1.1. But will these be considered in Europe the official minimum quality requirements? That is a decision that have to be taken by a separate group at a later stage. So that, if it goes down that route as being the official quality requirements, then of course the national bodies might have a role then in coordinating that. But that's quite specific for Europe, and we have to see how the spec is going to be used for RTTI officially.
Okay, thank you very much, Steph. So next question that was also addressed this morning at the morning webinar about the ground truth. So what about quality criteria that need a ground truth to give insight in the quality?
I can get that one. Yeah, that's basically one of the next steps. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matthias, but that's basically what we try to tackle with this pilot evaluation together with Thomas. Which are the ground truth data? Also, coming back to the last question, right? We still didn't decide who is going to be deciding what's the data. First, we have to deal with how do we do the evaluation, and then we can answer the question who is doing the evaluation. And we found out that it worked very well for some quality categories. For other quality categories, we found some challenges, and we have to tackle them now. Those are the next steps.
All right, thank you very much, Aito.
Yeah, if I just may add
sorry.
We can, of course, for evaluations, not send out hundreds of people with tape measures and stuff. So this is where statistics come into play, and I think that we can very well use the knowledge by our academic partners to approximate ground truth where ground truth is not available, or it would be too costly to obtain ground truth data. And I think the state of the art has developed quite far in the recent years in that respect.
Thank you very much, Matthias. So I will move to the next question. Assessment and feedback from road owners would be fundamental to validate the TISA approach. Did you initiate any activity in this sense besides RTTI Task Force?
I can take this one. I mean, the road authorities were active in the technical working group and the strategic working group for the development of the spec. And in this kind of pilot evaluation phase, you know, we can continue to get that feedback from the likes of TISGRADE, which we know is going to have a lot of stuff related to data quality, where B-Mobile and HERE, which are kind of two entities that were really heavily involved in this from the very beginning. They're members of that project formally. TomTom is loosely involved. And we can continue getting feedback from there, and also within the TISA membership itself, between different TISA members and bilaterally. So, for example, if there's a road authority that's interested in TomTom evaluating their data, just like we did for Denmark, we have capacity for about 1 or 2 different assessments in the 6 to 12 month period. Maybe a bit more if Aito gives me more resources, but at least 2 I think we can commit to. So
thank you for mentioning it, Steph. Yeah. All right. So so another question: does the rating consider CITS, V2X direct communications, and/or automated driving requirements when it comes to data quality and vehicle requirements?
I can start on this one and ask the others to complement me afterwards. For automated driving requirements, the quality criteria will be even higher. I think that when we set the spec, it was for today's use cases being deployed in the vehicle today. And we do have a lot of ADAS technology deployed already on the roads today in millions of vehicles. But is this the quality requirement for a high definition map? No. This is so. I think that although we don't have an explicit paragraph in the spec on this, I can't remember. It's not for the high levels of automation. It's really for today's technology. And in terms of CITS, I think there was a section where we talked about the different delivery channels, but it's delivery channel agnostic. So it's there's nothing really specific for that. But I don't know, Antoine or Christian or.
You said it right. That's exactly it. And especially in the automated driving space, I think intelligent speed assist and therefore our speed limit chapters are mostly relevant. So yeah, I think you nailed it.
Christian, you would like to add something on it?
No, nothing really to add. So yeah, it's Stephanie said really based on today's use cases, and as Antoine also mentioned, the intelligent speed assistance was one driver why we took speed limits as one of the priority use cases. So. And it's And all those requirements are really tied to our requirements for the services. So let's say it like this. So what we deliver to the customers and what terms of quality they are needing for the moment to have reliable services.
Also for Google, I can just echo what Stephanie says. So especially for automated driving, there are way higher quality levels and restrictions. So we're really focusing on today's use cases and segregate out automated driving, especially for Google.
All right, thank you very much for all of you. So maybe we can go to the next questions. So I think, can the specification also be used to assess quality on event level rather than feed level? Data quality may differ greatly within national feeds.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that, of course, on event level. You can do it per day of the week, but you need to figure out if you're talking about a data feed that a service provider can pick up from an access point. You want to, as a service provider, you want to know how much can I rely on this data feed. So if 50% of your data is 5 stars and 50% of your data is 1 star, overall, you cannot score enough rating to get commitment from pickup. So that then you would be advised to split up your feed in what is your high quality data, what is your low quality data. So you can get a better guarantee of your data being picked up by these service providers. So yes, you can definitely use it and apply it on an event level, on an individual event level, or on specific geo regions. So both time and space and types of events, you can split it up and apply it. That's how it was set up indeed.
I think it's important to find a manageable aggregation level here. Yeah, if you consider a single roadwork situation as an event, yeah, and if you have 5,000 roadworks in a bigger country, then you would have 5,000 individual star ratings. That makes it not manageable. Yeah, so I mean, you need to figure out a spatial aggregation level that makes these star ratings meaningful for a service provider.
I would like to add also to this question that in this pilot evaluation that we did together with the Danish Road Authority, we found that some quality factors were actually very, you could really check them well automatically. And for those cases, maybe you could go really on an event level. But for others, really, you need to check it manually or do some manual labor, which made it impossible just to check every single event. So you have to rely on statistics and sampling. And for those quality factors or quality categories, if you want to call them that way, it would not be possible to do it at an event level. But I get the question that an event can have great quality and the next event in the same feed can have much worse quality.
But maybe this is a point where TISA could offer some advice on how to do this, both within the evaluation methodology and within, dedicated workshops and stuff that will get organized in the future. So
yeah, that's a valid point indeed. Yeah. All right. So let me move to the next question. So NAPCORE project and C-Roads are dealing with quality definition requirements and quality assessment. How to liaise to such further investigation?
Yeah, maybe I start. So from what I know, so I think NAPCORE and then the quality working group in NAPCORE is well aware of the RTTI 5-star rating, and then they are taking this into consideration. And also now in NAPCORE X, it will be followed up. So I think at least it's recognized. Yeah. So yeah, this is what I know from discussions with NAPCORE, and also maybe I think in TIS grade it will be considered. So in the next project, which is more about implementation, where we also have a working package dealing with quality. So I think it needs to be there.
I think there was quite a number of members in the working group that are engaged in both activities and act as conduits to make sure information is flowing. And I mean, we had great support from NAPCORE for our activities here. So I think information is flowing. We just need to make sure it keeps flowing and maybe extend that information flow and liaison.
And if I may jump in, we also receive requests for the next steps for the evaluation methodologies, where we have some NAPCORE partners ask us deliberately, can we join the activity? So to align better between both. So I think it's an ongoing dialogue. We are liaising with each others, and yeah, so it goes on the right way. Okay, so because we are reaching the end of the webinar, so I'm a bit constrained with the time. So I think, what are the next steps now? Which additional use cases do you consider?
Well, I can maybe pick that up. So what are the next steps was shown on the last slide. So I can only repeat that. Which additional use cases we consider? There are no specific plans. This is very much a stakeholder dialogue to come to a consensus, which are priority use cases 4, 5, and 6. This is too early to tell, but we will open that stakeholder dialogue and come to a good decision the same way like we did with the priority use cases 1, 2, 3. I think there was one more question.
There's one more question. Let's see. I think we Stephanie covered that a bit about what about, sorry,
we didn't mention the FAQ, Stephanie, that questions that come in later or for people that couldn't make it in person, we will address them in the FAQ online. Okay.
So I think maybe we can address the last questions. It was partially addressed by Stephanie. What about pilots such as with DRD? Will you do more pilots? Yes, of course, we did receive some requests. And sorry,
I mean,
Steph.
there's lots of ways to organize this. So, I mean, I'm sure that TISA will organize a few with Be Mobile and here being official members of that, within TISA, between different TISA members, also between, non-TISA members. If you want to do your own pilot and send feedback in, that's also fine. So, for the TISA members, we can organize some stuff to make it easier to identify who wants to, do a pilot with who. But there's no rule, essentially. We can offer support, but if you want to kind of run your own evaluation and send us some feedback, that's also perfectly fine. So,
all right, thank you very much. So we are reaching the end of our webinar. So thank you all for attending. So we will leave the Slido open for a few days. So if you still have questions, please do not hesitate to post your questions. As we mentioned earlier, so we are building a frequently asked questions. It's not published yet, but if you have specific questions, we also have distribution list and email address faq@tisa.org. So feel free to write to us if you got to post some questions. And I think most of you know how to reach the executive office of TISA. So please feel free to reach us if you have additional questions, and we will do our best to answer those questions through the frequently asked questions section. Well, thank you everyone for attending today, and thank you to the contributors, to the presenters as well. And so let's continue the cooperation, and I wish you a nice end of the day.